which is difficult at times. Uh, Let us quickly go through this opioid detoxification or opioid withdrawal management. We discussed in the morning about diagnosis of dependence syndrome. We talked about three clusters of symptoms, and one of the clusters was physiological. And in that, we are talking about withdrawals, right? So, what is withdrawal syndrome that we have discussed over the day? That it is a set of symptoms which is experienced not only on stopping, but even if the client or the patient tries to reduce the amount that he's been taking usually, then also these symptoms, they appear, right? And usually they appear after prolonged and or heavy use. Not necessarily the patient has to be dependent, but even otherwise, if he's taking for a prolonged period of time or heavy use of substance is there, then also we see this withdrawal symptoms. Some of the general consideration that is there is that, as we have seen, it's different for different type of substances. It varies. Both physical and psychological symptoms are seen in general. Psychological symptoms are similar across the various class of drugs. For example, especially for brain depressants, the psychological symptoms would be the hyperreactivity or hyperactivity in terms of anxiety, restlessness, irritability, all of those things, and insomnia. Physical symptoms will differ depending upon what class of drugs the person is dependent on, right? The onset of withdrawal symptoms are also different for different substances. So what do we see also is that the severity, though the person might be a case of alcohol dependence or opioid dependence, the withdrawal severity will differ. And what it will depend upon? It will depend upon the amount that he's consumed in the recent period. So the last 1 month, how much drugs is he consuming? That will determine the severity of withdrawals when he comes to you. The severity of dependence, some individual related factors. For example, if the person is physically ill, then the withdrawal symptoms will be much more severe as compared to a person who is not physically ill. If a person is already having some psychological problem, then the withdrawal symptoms will be much more severe, right? In patients who are, say, HIV positive or having other infections, the severity will be more. We saw this, that some substances, they can also lead to, withdrawal symptoms can lead to death, typically alcohol and benzodiazepines, because of delirium tremens and seizures. Detoxification generally is called as withdrawal management, and what do we do here is that we manage the acute withdrawal stage, not the protracted or the long-term withdrawal symptoms that we see in patients. The basic thing here is that we prevent potentially life-threatening complications. It becomes a palliative care for people who want to become abstinent, right? And it becomes also the first point of contact with the treatment system and a first step towards recovery. The most important thing about detoxification is detoxification alone is not, as a standalone treatment, is not recommended. Just offering detoxification, it won't benefit a large majority of your patients. You need to have some post-detoxification management, either pharmacological or psychosocial. Detoxification alone, various studies have shown that within a month, about 90% people relapse, and within 3 months, more than 95% people definitely relapse. So detoxification alone is not a strategy. It's a first step towards treatment, and you need to employ post-detoxification strategies also. Opioid withdrawal quickly, we have discussed this in the morning. There are acute withdrawal symptoms which are there for hours to days, and early symptoms are anxiety, restlessness, yawning, opening of all holes in the body, what Dr. Atul had mentioned, right? So these appear for hours to days. These are acute withdrawal symptoms. Chronic withdrawal, even of this, after these acute withdrawals are abated, they stop, still you will have some symptoms which last for months to probably a year or so, right? Muscle aches here and there. The acute aches and pains will not be there. The cramps which we see would not be there. But for days to months, you will have these deep muscle aches and pains. Sleep disturbances will continue, right? Appetite will continue to be poor. Sexual problems, typically premature ejaculation, will be seen in chronic withdrawal state. Mood disturbances, depressed mood, not able to feel pleasure, right? Anhedonia will be there. Drug craving will continue. So this will continue for days to months, and there should be strategies employed specifically to take care of this, which Dr. Atul will be discussing in his session. Now, in case of opioid withdrawals, the acute withdrawal symptoms, the onset, severity and duration, they will differ from one type of opioid to other. The symptoms for all the drugs which come under opioids, they remain the same. But what differs is when do they appear, how much does the patient suffer, and how long does he suffer will differ. So for example, if you see, this is how the opioid withdrawal severity appears, right? For example, in case of heroin and buprenorphine, which are typically short-acting opioids, these appear, the withdrawals appears within hours, which is about 6 to 8 hours. In case of opioids such as dextropropoxyphene, it is much more earlier, right? The symptoms reach a peak within 2 to 3 days, and by the next 7 to 10 days, the symptoms come down and they reach the baseline. In case of long-acting opioids such as methadone, the symptoms do not appear immediately within a day. Where after 24 hours to 48 hours, the symptoms start appearing, and the peak will be by about 7 to 10 days, and it takes at least 2 weeks for this acute withdrawal symptoms to come down. So it depends on what kind of opioids that we are dealing with. Uncomplicated withdrawals are not life-threatening. So unlike alcohol withdrawals and benzodiazepine withdrawals that we saw, opioid withdrawals are not life-threatening. So the patient will not die if he doesn't have other issues, like for example, if there are medical complications, diarrhea, it can lead to electrolyte imbalance, following which the patient can have a life-threatening. If he already has some